Hi YouTube, it's Tracy from Queen of the Board and we are back to play the confrontation phase of Limbo from Dante's Inferno. I'm really excited. This is a stunner on the table. Come and join me. Welcome back, and without a doubt, just a quick reminder, I'm going to make a bunch of rules mistakes, I'm sure, so I'm relying on you guys to let me know in the comments, and if you could please turn on your Klingon captions, I'll update that later on with those rules mistakes. So over here we have King Minos and his chair, which is also an opponent, and my 4 champions are down here. I did colour the bases to make them a little easier to spot. Astrid is my main champion, so she is in purple, and here she is. Astrid the Wanderer, and then her 3 sort of support champions. We've got Jarrick the Rebel, Joanne the Maiden, and Matias the Condottiero. So the board is all set up. I'm just going to put this over to the camera so you can see what that looks like. This is showing the fierceness of each of my champions, and right now we've got King Minos. Here's his card. He's got a sturdiness of 5 and a threshold there of 2. So if I roll some of those misses and get more than 2 of those, he's going to counter attack us. The Throne of Limbo has a sturdiness of 7 though, and I think that's kind of what I want to target to begin with. If we take a look at the goal for this Limbo phase, the first, more obvious one would be to defeat King Minos. But there is also a second possibility, to extract Pasiphae's confession. So if I can meet either one of the 2 confrontation objectives, I will succeed. Now, she's not on the board yet, so I'm guessing she's going to show up later, fingers crossed. Anyway, let's just have a go and see what happens. The first step is clean up, but nothing to clean so far as it's my first round. Then preparation. So I can remove one of the cooldown cards, which is going to give me a free slot to use. And we invigorate 3. 1, 2, 3 to 8 for Astrid, 7 for Jarrick, Joanne, and Matias. Let's get into the action phase. My champions get to go first. Now I can perform a basic action at a cost of 1 vigor point per action. So I could move and I could interact as well with items on the board, such as these chests over here. Otherwise, I can exchange items. I want to be spending my maneuvers. I've got 1 slot, so this is what Astrid currently has to choose from. You have a hand size of 4, opening shot, exerted shot, preparation melody, and final shot. Here's a quick reminder of Astrid's card and abilities. She starts with the Lear bow, so that has range of 2 and 3 attack dice. And not to forget, we picked up the clockwork wings. Okay, so the first thing I'm planning to do is simply spend 1 vigor for a basic action. I'm just going to move her forward 1 into this space over here. Now, my Lear bow has a range of 2, and so I'm going to target the throne and attack it. And I think I'm going to use opening shot. So I'm placing that in my empty slot, and that means that I get a +1 dice bonus for each maneuver card in my hand, and I have 3. So I start with 3 with the Lear bow, and then another 3. That's going to give me 6 dice. Okay, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 2 fumbles. So I actually succeed, because if we take a look at the Throne of Limbo, that's kind of perfect. I get the 7 and I didn't exceed the threshold. So because I did a damage, I take the top card and I'm just going to discard it to here. The next thing I'm going to do is to spend 1 more just to move back 1 space And then I'm going to use my clockwork wings because that allows me to move or to advance to an area within range 2, and even it could be atop of a pillar. So I'm going to go 1, 2 and advance up to this location here. Next, I do have a willpower token, so I could choose to use this if I wanted to allow me to play one of my maneuver cards onto another card, but I'm going to wait, I think, because that will help me later on. The last thing I'm going to do is spend one more and interact with this chest. That means I get to remove it from the board and draw my first findings card. This hopefully will help me out. Waters of Acheron. It's consumable, so I do need to use it during this confrontation. I'm going to pop it right here. The Waters of Acheron, I love it. So as a free action, that would allow me to get rid of a sin card from my hand. I don't have any yet, but they start to appear when you hit 0 on your vigor, and they'll just clutter up my hand. I can also receive Invigorate 4, so that would put me in a really safe position up here, or I could Empower 2, and I would take Empower tokens that would add strength to my next attack. So I'm just going to hold on to that for now. We'll see what happens. Not to forget that that was opening shot with a fierceness of 1, so I do need to move her 1 up the track. She'll be in 3rd place. And so ordinarily you can see that this is how it's stored on the board, but just for better visibility, I think I'm going to lie them flat. Hopefully you can see those. Next up, I'm going to play Jarrick the Rebel. So he is green, and I'm going to do Buried Surprise. So that's going to move me 1 up the track. So we're swapping places here again for my fierceness. And I'm setting a trap within range 2. So where do we want to put the trap? I think I'm just going to place it directly in front of us right here. And then we get Invigorate 2 going up to 9 and Empower 2. So I'm taking 2 Empower tokens. Next up is Joanne, and so with her token, I'm going to do Iron Maiden. So I get to move 3 and receive Invigorate 4, Empower 4, or Inspire 4. So I'm going to go ahead and just 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 11. And I wouldn't suffer falling damage, but I'm actually choosing, I think, to go up here. And then I'm going to spend 1 to interact with this chest and take a findings. Lustful Gale consumable. I keep forgetting about the fierceness track. That was a 1, so I think she's going to go ahead. She's blue and she comes up to the front. Finally, we have Matias, our red champion right here. He has a Hungarian crossbow to begin with. So a little bit more range on that one with a range of 3. I think I might try and attack the chair again. So I'm going to go with Anticipate. So that has a fierceness of 1. So red's going to move back to the top of the fierceness track. I get to look at the counterattack on the top card of each action deck. And then I can move one of those cards to the bottom of the deck if I don't like it. So that's kind of cool. Let's have a look first of all with Minos. He has Grapple. I think I'm going to leave that where it is. That's not too bad. Let's check the chair. Musical chairs. This could be about to come up. And I think I'm going to put this one to the bottom. We only need to do 3 more wounds on the chair. So let's go with our attack. We've got the 3 dice from the crossbow and we've got the 3 dice from the Anticipate. And then I also later can spend vigor points to add hits after the roll. I need to get 7 for the Throne of Limbo. Let's see what we find. Oh, wow, that is a great roll. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, that was a fantastic roll. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and only 1 fumble. So that, again, we're going to do one more damage to the chair and take this one out. That is the end of my Caravan's action phase. So next we're going to move over and see what Minos is going to do to us. So I could have looked at this before and I didn't even think to. First thing he's going to do is home run. Move 3, approaching the fiercest champion at any range. Fiercest is red. So, oh boy, he's just going to go 1, 2, and it says approaching. So I don't think he's turning, but he did go through a trap. So we spend the trap and he's actually going to take his first damage there. If there are any champions in the area Minos is in, inflict 4 damage on each of them. Okay, so we do have both of these two, unfortunately. So Jarrick is going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've also got Matias, 1, 2, 3, 4. Still alive, and luckily he wasn't holding any furniture. And then it also said that he's going to push these. So I think they're both, I'm just going to push them back into this space in front of him as he's facing this way. Okay, that was Minos. Now let's see what the chair's up to. Cage. So this one is actually pretty nasty for us because he's just going to move again directly forward into this space here with our 2 champions. Pretty nasty for us. We don't have any polymorphed champions. So he advances to the area the champions closest are in. They don't travel diagonal, all orthogonal. So he's right here. And so it says Minos holds that champion, inflicting 6 damage on them. And I don't have any tokens or anything that can prevent it. So I think it's going to be Matias because he came right through. And that will reset Matias down to 0. So I guess he's kind of being held prisoner. So I'm going to pop him on Minos's deck, actually, just to remind me that he's got him. And then, yeah, we're going to take our first wound, which is horrible. That means I'm going to move down on the fierceness track to all the way down to the bottom down here, first of all. I do get to reset to 6, and then I'm going to flip this over and turn it into my first wound. 3, and I'm dead, and we all lose at that point. Finally, one more card to draw. Let's have a look at our limbo events. Oh, it is a curse. The fiercest champion at any range resets their vigor to 6 and suffers polymorph. Oh boy. Okay, well, let's do that first. So who is our fiercest? It is blue, which is Joanne, the maiden. So we're going to polymorph. Let's see what we turn into. She's now a capybara. So I'm just going to place this over the top of her card like so. And we've actually got the reverse champion side here, like this. And my weapon is also going to change to some sharp teeth. Reset my vigor to 6. And then stun 1 each other champion. No fatigue though. That means, however, that these are going to become cooldowns again. So that's not great. We're basically going back to square one on that. So these will come off. And then store this card. So something's going to happen later once we get through all of the events. So not too much for cleanup, but next we're going to prepare one. So once again, removing this cooldown and putting one of these into an active state. Okay, and I've got my 1 wound here. Then we have invigorate 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I get to draw up to 4, so I get an extra 1 here. I find slippery. Okay, so I'd really like to try and finish the chair off if I can. So let's go with Astrid. Go ahead with the wings again. So she can move to an area, advance to an area range 2. So I think we'll get her to go to here, like so. And that's her wings used up for this turn. Next, she's got a range 2, so I'm going to spend 1 to move her again, just close enough to get range on the throne. We'll play Final Shot. That's a fierceness of 1, so she's going to move up. She's purple, so she moves up to 2nd place. And that means we've got 3 from the bow, and again, another 3 bonus to spend. Let's see if we get lucky. We need 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I can spend 2 vigor points to reroll 1 die. So I think I'm going to do it to here and reroll this one. Pretty please. 1 hit, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still 1 short of a success there. So unfortunately it's a miss, but at least we didn't get attacked back. We managed to avoid the counter attack. But I think I'm going to spend my token, and this will actually allow me to play a 2nd card into the same slot. So I'm going to play this time Exerted Shot, and we're going to try again. So this goes over the top. It gets a +2 dice bonus. So I get my original 3 from the bow, the bonus of 2, but because of my performance acuity, I get an extra 2 bonus because I've got 2 in 1 slot. So we're going to get 1 extra dice this time. So maybe we'll be a little luckier. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2 for stumbles. So this time we were successful. That means there's only 1 card left to get rid of the chair. I really want to do that if it's possible. Now, not to forget that we have the capybara now instead. So this one is going to swap here. And so here he is, very cute. So I'm going to ask my capybara just to spend 1 and drop down here so that we are flanking Minos. Because next, Jarrick is actually going to attack using skillful disarming. So it's going to be a fierceness of 2, and this will get covered up. We'll pop it right here. And so he is green, so he's going to move up to the top of the fierceness track. And I make an attack with a +3 dice bonus. He's melee, so we're going to have 6 dice. And because we are flanking 1 on either side, before the attack, the targeted malefactor releases any objects they are holding. So Matias gets dropped. I'm going to pop him right next door here, and he is now free. Hopefully you can see that. So we're going to roll, see what happens. I do also have this token, so I'm going to get an extra 2 dice with this attack. Wow. Okay. Wow. Well, that was a complete failure. That's actually pretty impressive. Here we go again. He's going to come and approach the fiercest, and that, in fact, is Jarrick. So Jarrick's going to get held and takes 3 damage. So we pop him on the card. 1, 2, 3. But at least that is the end of the counterattack. Well, that didn't go very well. What's next? At least Matias is now free, and hopefully we can finish off the chair. So we'll spend 2 to move 2. We're going to go 1, 2, and be... Oh, no, we only need to go 1. We'll go right here because I've got a range of 3. And then we're going to attack this chair. So we'll do anticipate once again. So I'll place this here. That means I get to look at the counter attacks. Let's check the chair. We've only got 1 card, so there's not much I can do with it. But this is what potentially will be coming up. And I need a 7. I've got 6 dice. Let's see if we can be a little luckier this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. And that is it. We finish off the chair. So I get to take this out of the game. And that somewhat weakens Minos. Plus there's just 1 less bad thing that's going to happen every round. Again, that was a fierceness of 1, so red's going to move up 1. I do keep forgetting that. Have to say I really like all the 3D elements of the game. I haven't really been using the pillars or anything like that just yet. I haven't figured that out. But there are so many keywords, or at least for me, quite a lot of keywords to learn. So I'm hoping I can get a PDF of the rulebook and throw it into something like Notebook LM to make that part a little faster. And then for my capybara, I think I'm going to go ahead and use Scapegoat. So that means I'm moving 4. I get Empower of 2. That will make me stronger for next time. And if I move into an area with another champion, so let's go over here, then I get to block 2 of that damage and take the damage myself. So hopefully that will help me during the next attack, because it is now Minos' turn. Not forgetting that that was a fierceness of 3, so I'm going right up to the top of the track. And we know actually for Minos' next action that he is going to be trying to get to the fiercest champion with a move 3. So instead of stopping there, what I'm going to do is I go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to run away up to here because now it actually is Minos' turn. He's going to try for home run. And so he'll move 3. 1, 2, 3, but he doesn't quite get to me. And because there are no champions here, I'm shuffling 2 Arcana cards into Minos' action deck, and then this is complete. And let's do our Limbo card. This is the events. We have Open the Session. In fact, if the throne had not been destroyed, something else would trigger, but because it has, we'll inflict 3 damage on each champion at any range. So we go down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Everyone's still okay. And then shuffle X Arcana cards into Minos' action deck equal to the number of path cards that we took. So we actually took 3 path cards during the previous phase. So 3 going in here. So we'll see how that affects the game later. It's probably not a good thing. But next we reset. So I'm popping these into my discard pile. I get to remove 1 of these. So I now have 2. 1 here is my second. So we can do quite a bit more this time. And here is my second one. I go back up 3 to 5, 5, 8, and 8. I do wish that these were double-sided boards. I have to say this keeps moving around just a little bit. And then back over to me. Oh, of course, I get to draw 2 more cards. She finds a hit and run and a legendary shot. And I think I want to focus on trying to recuperate a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is actually spend my Lustful Gale, which is a consumable, and it's going to allow me to swap. So I'm going to swap with Jarrick, and so instead my capybara is being held. And it also says that we both get to invigorate 2 or empower 2 at your choice. And I think I'm going to go with the invigorate over here for Jarrick, getting him up to 7. And my capybara, I'm going to empower. So we get another 2, which I think is the max you can hold is 4 worth of tokens. And I'm going to use my consumable Waters of Caravan to gain 4 invigorate, 1, 2, 3, 4, and also empower 2. So again, I'm just really getting her ready. For Jarrick, I'm going to go with Buried Surprise. So I'm setting a trap, and I think, where do we want it? It's within range 2. So I'm going to pop it right here. And I also get Invigorate 2 and Empower 2. So we go up to 9 and an Empower 2. But then I'm going to move 1 and interact 1 so that with this chest I get a Finding. Waters of the Styx. That will help me clear a sin card or gain an aggressiveness token. I think that gets me 6 extra dice or something like that. Oh, it adds 6 hits to an attack result, so that's pretty amazing. And I'm going to have Matias spend Charon's Rags because I actually can't draw a sin card. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but this will allow me to expiate 1. I believe that means I get to remove my damage, my wound, so that's pretty great. And I'm going to stop. I'm not going to use up actions because I don't want extra sin cards too soon, and I really want to just get to the next thing. So before I stop though, let's have a look first what Minos is going to do next. So we're going to have backbreaker next, and so if Minos is holding any champions, release the fiercest among them. So we have our capybara is going to be dropped, inflicting 10 damage on that champion, and this action is ended. So that's going to go under here. But 10 damage on the capybara absolutely means we're going to take a wound. So I think I have to do one of these, like so. He goes back up to 6 and he's going to drop down to the bottom. But at least he is free. Next, it's our final Limbo event card, Chain Lightning. Inflict 6 damage on a champion at any range chosen by the Caravan. Jarrick's doing pretty good over here with 9, so I think we'll go down to 3. And there's no one within 1 range. Okay, so we're going to get stun 3, so 1, 2, and fatigue 2, so that's going to go down to 1. And next, if you look at the bottom of the card, because we've had all 3 of the event cards, we now get to read the Black Widow on page 28. Cordiality gives way to blood as the infernal judge does not intend to do his duty, a fact that, to the poet's surprise, did not even result in any punishment. Does the devil no longer care? Or worse, does the high power? Although the former king proves to be a skilled warrior, the numbers are in your favour, as is the advantage in the fight. When she realises this, the cunning woman takes courage and steps out of the shadows. Her eyes glitter, crackling with supernatural power. "Husband!" she shouts as she floats a foot off the ground, her hair waving as if she was a storm personified. "Let me help you deal with this scum." A sorceress, a creature your mortal minds could not even imagine existed, joins the fight. Yay! She's here. Okay. The Queen of Crete has joined the fight. Flip the King Minos status card. Here is the new side. So here is our model for Pasiphae. She starts in A2. She's going to face this way, and we have her action cards here. So we give these a bit of a shuffle, and so we can go after her confession. So back over to the reset. So everything would go into the discard pile. I would draw up to 4, but I already have a hand of 4. That's why I didn't play the card. So I won't take a sin card there. I'm going to get all of my possible action tokens at this point. Except for that one, I'll get 1 back. Hope I played that right. I'm not sure. I think I made some mistakes on that one. But what we want to do is go after her so that she will confess. I get 3, so she's going all the way up to 12. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And let's be smart this time and look at what Minos is going to do next time to us. So the main thing is he's going to move 3, approaching the fiercest champion. He is not holding anyone at the moment, so that's good news. And the fiercest is green, which is this one. Now her action, remove the scum, that will come after Minos. So she will also move to the fiercest champion, but she's going to try and throw the last arc over here. So I think it's a really good idea if we get rid of that. So Astrid is actually the closest to the arc. I could use her wings, or I could just use all this vigor that I have over here. So I think we'll start just by spending vigor. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to here, and then spend 1 to interact. So we gain a finding. Waters of Phlegethon, a consumable. And that gets the arc off the board. That keeps us safe from her. And I'm going to go for I'm just going to use it straight away. I can't store it. I could store it. I do have a spare spot. To gain Empower 4. And I think I'm just going to spend it right away and get that Empower 4. So, I can only hold 4. No, I won't. I'm going to store it. Then I'm going to use my wings just to fly range to 1, 2, and spend 1 more to move back over to here, aiming at Pasiphae. And Pasiphae, I need a result of 6. I actually don't really have anything too awesome in my hand. No, I'm going to go with Legendary Shot because actually I'm wrong. That, in fact, is pretty awesome. So we'll play that. It's 3 for the fierceness. So green is already at the top of the track, actually. She's purple, so she's going to push those down and be up here. I must discard 1 maneuver card from my hand. I'm going to get rid of 1 slippery. And so I get an attack with a +4 dice bonus. And I also have this 2, so I'm going to get a bonus of 6. So we have my starting 3, 1, 2, 3. Pasiphae's going to turn to face me. Wish me luck. Here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is enough, but we also trigger a counter attack, which is not good news. And even if I were to spend 2 vigor to reroll, I wouldn't be able to avoid it. So we'll go with the counter attack first. And we find Piercing Scream. So she is going to inflict 2 base damage on a champion within range 1. So red is actually going to take 1, 2 damage. That's okay, we're still on 9. So for stun 1 with fatigue 3. So stun 1, we'll lose 1 of these. And then move 1 with climb, distancing from the attacking champion. So I think she's just going to move up here. That actually wasn't too bad. And she did take a damage, so I'll just get rid of that card actually. And I think we'll go for Preparation Melody because that's going to allow me to choose to get an Inspire token. Here it is, and that will change a fumble to a double success when I play it. 0 for fierceness there. Now, do I want to move her away? I think she wants to get away from Minos. So he's going to move 3 towards her if she stays the fiercest. So I think we're going to go 1, 2, 3 as far away as possible, spending 1, 2, 3. No, undo. I'm going to leave her there for now, but we might want to move her later. Leave her there for now, but we'll see who's the fiercest and maybe move things around. Let's work with Jarrick next. So he's a melee fighter and he's all the way over here though, so a bit tricky to get up to this one. And I think actually this might be a really great time to stop the game because you're kind of getting a feel for how it's working. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm hoping to defeat her, and when I do there'll be more story to come, so I'm going to leave it as is. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you thought, and again, am I playing this correctly? I don't know, so I'm going to go and have another look through the rule book and come back to it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.